What's going on YouTube? So today's video is going to be actually in answer to a question I had in one of my previous videos about when should you apply for distribution, right? So in one of my other videos I talked about how to go about getting yourself approved for a distributor, but I didn't really talk about when the right time would be to do that, because if you do it at the wrong time, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot. So when you're actually applying for distribution, right, a lot of people kind of think, oh, if I have distribution, I have access to Pokemon, right? And for those of us that are starting out, whether it be last year or those of you looking to start this year, that's not really going to be the case, right? Distribution is not access to Pokemon product. Distribution is going to be the beginning of a wholesale relationship with a distributor that has access to a wide variety of products. Okay? So they're looking not for a Pokemon store, but for a stable retail business. That's the image, that's what you need to present when you apply for them, right? You want them to look at you and be able to look at it and say, okay, this is a stable retail business, not a necessarily just a Pokemon store, right? Not that there's anything wrong with being just a Pokemon store, but if that's how you're trying to start right now, and when you go to them, because there's not going to be any allocation for you, they're going to think to themselves, well, why am I going to approve you, right? A lot of stores make the mistake of applying too early. Now, I want to caveat this with I'm not talking about brick and mortar, okay? This is going to be purely for if you're online retail only, okay? That's the space that I'm in. If you're brick and mortar, different ball game. Not going into that. This doesn't apply for that. This is online only. Okay. So a lot of people think that, okay, I'm going to start my business. I've got my LLC. I've got my website all set up. I got my reseller's permit. I'm good to go. Let me go apply. The distributor will look at your application and see, okay, well, you're an unknown operator. You have no sales history. You have no proof that you can move any product, and your long-term stability is going to be unclear. Okay, so for them, they kind of look at that and say, this is kind of risky, right? Because what are they really looking for, right? What are they evaluating when you put that application in? They want a retail partner that's going to be able to move product consistently, right? They're not looking for, the next big, store that's going to blow up and be able to be the biggest thing on the block, but they want someone that can be consistent, someone that will be there a month from now, 6 months from now, a year, 2, 5 years from now, that will be able to consistently move a variety of product. They want to be able to place orders consistently, right? A $500 order each month looks better than a $1,000 order every other month. Okay? They want to see that consistency. So if you're able to move product consistently, so you can have orders coming in on a regular basis, that looks better. Okay? If they don't believe you can move product, they're not going to believe that that consistency is going to be able to happen. They want someone that carries multiple categories. Okay, if you come in and you say, okay, well, I only want Pokemon. Well, they don't have any Pokemon to give you or anybody else. So they'll look at it and say, okay, well, why am I going to approve your account? Why am I going to go through all the work to evaluate your account when the only thing you're telling me that you're going to want to buy, the only thing you're going to be able to move is a product that I'm not going to give you, right? Doesn't make any sense for them to do all that. So they're distributing risk, right? Not just products. So if they're trying to look at, okay, I have all this product sitting in my warehouse of all these different categories, all these different SKUs, and you're coming to me and you're saying, I only want this one tiny little piece, that's it. It doesn't help them, right? Pokemon sells itself. Everybody wants it. Why would they be incentivized to approve an account that only wants a product that they don't have to give you, that they don't need help moving, right? They want to move all the other stuff. That's what a real retail operation does, right? Yes, they're buying Pokemon, but then they're buying this and that and this and these items, right? They're having a wide variety of different things so they can move all these other categories. Those are the accounts that are going to get allocation. Those are the accounts that are stable, even when, I know it sounds silly to say right now, but when Pokemon eventually slows down, these will be the stores that can continue buying other stuff versus a store that's maybe only looking to flip Pokemon right now is going to be gone and out, right? That's the other thing they're looking for. If you're coming in, sure, you may have your documents ready to go, but if you're only looking for Pokemon, they're going to look at you and say, okay, well, you're nothing but a flipper slash reseller, right? And as soon as the dip goes down, you're out. You're gone. I won't see you again. So again, they have no incentive to approve you. Okay? The other thing too is if the only thing that you can sell is sealed Pokemon, and that's why you're applying to distribution when you won't get any, well, what are you even doing that for? Because you're not going to get anything anyway, right? So you're going to go to them, apply. Somehow, if you get approved, you'll get nothing at any rate. Okay? So what are the signs that you are ready to apply? Well, you got to have what looks like a real retail operation. You don't have to be huge, but there's certain, markers that you will see that will not indicate to you that you're ready, but will indicate to them that you are an account that they should approve. So make sure you look like a real retail operation, okay? Make sure you have a functional website, make sure it looks good, right? The checkout process flows well, your layout, the navigation through it works well. If they don't believe that customers can come to your site and be able to buy anything or want to buy anything, they're going to hesitate, right? Organize your different product categories. If they come to your site and say, okay, only Pokemon, that's it, well, they're going to click out and say, well, this is all this person is able to sell. I'm not going to be able to give them what they are trying to sell. So, again, why continue on? Right, have some clear branding. Again, they don't really want a store that's just going to be able to be, based on an eBay store, right? Or an Amazon store. Again, not saying you can't find success doing that, right? Many people do. But a distributor wants to know, do you have a brand? Are you going to be able to retain customers and sell a variety of products, right? Have you done legwork to make yourself stable? Have some example that you can already move inventory. Okay, if you get your license, you say, cool, I have the ability to sell. But if you haven't proven the capacity to do so, again, you look risky, right? So whether you have secondary market sourcing and you're generating sales based through that, right? You have some other wholesale platforms, like I mentioned in my last video about how I went through the process, how I used a marketplace like Fair to get product in order to start moving that. That's a way, right? You have some relationship with a wholesale system. You start developing some history. They can see that, okay, yes, you are ordering product. What kind of product are you buying? Are you paying? You have clean payment history for those things. That helps because you at least have some kind of history to bring to them rather than being a brand new account. You will, potentially look like, oh, okay, you're a retailer. You have some operations. You already have an existing relationship with some business to business. Okay, that gives you a leg up, right? And that's how I was able to get some accessories and things like that to start moving some Pokemon adjacent items that wasn't sealed and kind of show them that, again, I was a retail operation. I had the ability to move more than just straight sealed product. So that obviously goes with building the category out that's beyond just sealed that you're able to develop and sell, right? So whether that, it's just a few items, that's fine, right? It's something. Do some bundle deals, whatever it is, just show that you carry different items and you have the ability to move it, okay? They want to be able to see that you can place meaningful orders. So again, at least in my case, when I used Fair Marketplace, I was able to show them my order history, and they could see the consistency that I was ordering, the types of items I was ordering, and how much I was ordering. Right? If you're just buying $20 of stuff every week, that's not going to fly, right? And I'm not saying that you need to spend this much, right? There's no magic number you have to reach, but you need to at least be able to show them something where they can look at it and reasonably say, yeah, okay, this is a real retail operation, right? They're not just buying a couple things and saying, hey, look, I bought something, and then disappear, right? Because that's what they're worried about. someone coming in, applying for an account. They go through all this work to approve you, assign you to a rep and all this, and then you find out, oh, I can't get Pokemon? All right, never mind, and dip out, right? They just wasted all that time. Just remember, right, they're not looking for an account that orders once. They're looking for an account that will order for years. So if you apply too early, there are some downsides, right? A lot of people may think to themselves, well, why not just apply, right? Worst that can happen is they say no. There are some downsides, and I would caution you not to apply before you've kind of reached some of these steps and some of these milestones, okay? Obviously, you can get rejected, right? A weak impression, you're going to get rejected, turn away. But then some of the downstream effects of that, it'll make it harder for you to reapply soon. It's not like you apply, they reject you, they throw that application away, and then the next time you apply, it's like you're brand new, starting all over. They're going to know, okay, yeah, this person's applied before. Why did we reject them the first time? Okay? If you made a bad first impression, they may not want to even take the time to go through and reevaluate any development and growth that you may have had since your first application. So, now I'm not saying that if you get rejected, you can never apply again, right? But it really depends on, okay, maybe they rejected you to say, you're just not ready yet. You're not big enough for us yet, right? But that's different than you getting your documents, applying. They see it. Oh, okay. You have nothing here. To us, you look like just like a flipper reseller. Get out of here, right? That can hurt you later on down the line. And distributors, if you have an account, right? Say somehow you get an account with somebody, but obviously you're not going to get sealed, right? You're going to get no allocation for sealed until you say, well, okay, I have the account. I'll just wait until one day when I can get sealed, and then you go dormant, and then you apply for some other distributor, hoping, well, maybe they'll give me something, and they'll say, well, okay, let's see, do you have any of the distributor relationships? Ah, yes, you do. Let's take a look. Oh, okay, well, I guess technically you have an account with so and so, but you haven't bought anything. So why approve you if you already have an account with someone else and you don't buy anything from them? You have no history with them, you didn't do anything with it. Rejected, right? So make sure you're ready to apply before you go and do it, because there are some negative effects if you apply too early that can negatively affect your ability to grow your business and get accounts. And maybe you miss some opportunities there because you didn't do the foundational steps that you should be doing before you go to a distributor, right? So just remember kind of like what I talk about in more detail in my previous video about what I did in order to get ready for that application process. So take a look at that, right? Build some sales history. I used Fair Marketplace in order to help get some relationship going, some sales history, and product category diversification. So if you haven't already, check that video out about how I actually went through the building process I'm talking about here. Went to some distributors and got approved as an online account. Right, and just remember, obviously, I know I harp on it a lot, but a lot of people don't quite understand it. With Pokemon allocation, right? Even if a distributor approves your account, you're not going to get any allocation. Okay, allocation is based on sales history and how long you've had your account, right? So if you're a brand new account, you're just not getting anything. There's just not enough product to go around for everybody. So you can order 100 boxes if you want, 100 bundles, and you will get nothing. That's not the distributor trying to keep you down, trying to prevent you from growing. It doesn't mean that they don't like you. It's just how the nature of the business is right now, okay? You are risky. They don't know how long you're going to be around. Prove yourself. Sell other categories. Show that you can have stable operations. And you should want to do that anyway, right? If your only goal is to apply with a distributor to try to get Pokemon sealed, because that's all you have the ability to sell, well, what happens if and when the Pokemon market were to slow down, right? And I know right now, it seems crazy to say that, to think that, but if you just go back right? There was a time when, believe it or not, 151 was sitting on shelves, fully stocked. People didn't want it. Scarlet Violet base, nobody wanted it. You could sell it at MSRP all day long. Nobody touched it, right? It's not impossible that that could happen again, right? I mean, the Pokemon, it kind of goes, in waves, right? Right now we're in a total bull market, but that doesn't mean that a bear market can't come back. If and when that does, if the only thing you move is Pokemon sealed, what are you going to do, right? And that's what they're thinking. They're thinking to themselves, if you only move one product category, you are inherently risky because if that category goes belly up, you won't be buying anything from us, right? So again, why take the time to develop an account to give that account something if you are risky? Why not, from their perspective, why not invest that product in another retail operation to help them grow that's also selling categories A, B, C, D, E in addition to Pokemon? So if Pokemon slows down, that retail operation will still be buying categories A, B, C, D, E from them, right? That's what you have to understand distribution is. It's not just access to product, right? It's relationship. They're going to help you grow by providing you product at wholesale pricing. You help them by moving other things besides just whatever the hottest item is, right? Because they don't need help selling the hottest item. It's going to sell itself. Okay, so instead of asking yourself, how do I get distribution? Kind of reframe in your mind with, how do I build a business that distributors want to work with? Okay? Remember, distribution doesn't build a strong business. A strong business will earn distribution. And you should want that for yourself anyway, because if you are making yourself look risky, it's probably because you are a risky business. And if you want to be in this space and develop yourself and be able to, maybe some of you want to make a whole career out of this, and that's how you want to earn your living, you should want to diversify. You should want to have a strong retail operation so you can kind of ride the waves of the market that will undoubtedly come, right? Maybe not today, not next week, next month, maybe not even next year, but eventually there's going to be rough seas depending on what category you're selling in, and diversification kind of helps you weather that storm, right? So remember, focus on building a retail business first, right? Move product, diversify your categories, create a stable operation, and your chances of getting approved for distribution will increase dramatically. So we're at the end of the video. If you have distribution, maybe if you want to share some thoughts in the comments below about some of the things that you did to prepare yourself for it. If you are in the process of starting a business or thinking about starting a business, feel free to share below what you're doing, ask some questions, and I'll continue to make videos about some of the different business, spaces of starting a Pokemon business. I'm now, was it just shy of a year opening my own business. So I'm still learning a lot. And I'll continue to make videos about the things that I've learned, some of the mistakes that I've made. But I'd love to hear about what you guys want to know more about, or the experiences that you've already had if you have a business already. So with that being said, check out epiclootcollectibles.com, buy my stuff, and feel free to leave your comments down below. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.